Hello everyone, you have come to Tata Comic Preview channel. Let read together. Have fun. This is an art collage novel video. I made this series so you guys can experience the story faster. The video will focus on the character's psychology, the images are for illustration purposes only. He had close to 100,000 merit points. If he continued to save his merit points, he could purchase 2 golden lotus leaves. His current cultivation base was only in the 2-leaf nascent divinity realm. With these many merit points, he would be lying if he said he was not tempted to spend them. However, he knew he had to restrain himself. If he saved them until he became a grand cultivator, they could be used to their full potential. In any case, it should be fine if he spent some of them on lucky draws, right? Lucky draw, Zhou muttered. Ding. Spent 50 merit points. Obtained reversal card X1. Not bad. Again. Lucky draw. Ding. Spent 50 merit points. Obtained the mount, Ji Liang. Note, due to the system having spent too much energy sending the legendary mounts, Wizard and buy-in, to the host, this mount would be coming to the Evil Sky Pavilion on its own. Ji Liang, a good steed from the land of Wuya in the distant north. Lu Zhou's eyes widened when he saw this. It's been so long. When was the last time I received such a good reward? Finally, I'm a European emperor. Ever since he obtained Wizard and buy-in, Lu Zhou had witnessed how powerful legendary mounts were. Even when Ji Tiandao was still around, he did not obtain a powerful mount. His first disciple, Zhenghai, on the other hand, obtained a powerful mount, but who knew how much trouble Zhenghai had gone to just to obtain his mount? The mounts owned by a handful of major sects were only lesser beasts. Lu Zhou's mounts were treasures that one could never hope to encounter. One could only dream about it. Not bad at all. I should quit while I'm ahead. I won't make any more draws. You can't do anything about that, can you? Based on Lu Zhou's understanding of the system, the next draws would only be thank you messages. Lu Zhou was extremely pleased. Meanwhile, in the faraway land of Wuya in the distant north, a group of wild horses whose hooves glowed brightly was galloping across a grassless plain. At the end of the group, a horse that was clearly different from the others, with a snow-white coat and fiery red mane that was 10 feet length and 80 feet height, came to a halt. It seemed like it had heard its summons. It neighed before it broke off from the group and flew south. After obtaining the mount, Lu Zhou no longer touched the lucky draw system. Instead, he returned his attention to the 3 scrolls of heavenly writing. After meditating on the human scroll, Lu Zhou had practically understood the ways to use the 4 powers and their effects. He looked down, curious. What would the earth scroll be? Rows after rows of mysterious scripts appeared before his eyes. They looked strange and squiggly. If the scripts of the human scroll resembled hieroglyphs of ancient human civilization, the scripts of the earth scroll could only be described as extremely messy. He could at least find some pattern in the scripts of the human scroll. The earth scroll was just baffling. In any case, the chance for the heavenly writing powers would be slowly revealed to him when he began to meditate. Lu Zhou frowned slightly. Calm down. Let's look at the prices of the item cards to calm down. After that, he separated the human scroll and earth scroll. He did not rush to meditate on the earth scroll. Instead, he continued to meditate on the human scroll of heavenly writing. I should replenish my extraordinary power for now, just to be safe. With this thought in mind, Lu Zhou sat down with his legs crossed and placed his palms before his dantian, breathing in and out. This was akin to a double cultivation exercise. Inside the discussion hall of Taishu Academy. Patriarch. How are we supposed to go against a 9-leaf cultivator? We're running out of time. Who can hold off the 9-leaf cultivator when he comes? We only have a few days left. One of the elders was so anxious that his face was flushed red. Unless the divine capital is willing to help us, I don't see another way out. The divine capital is currently engaged with the Nether Sect. They don't have the time to look after us. All of the people present in the hall had something to say. They looked at Lin Xian, whose brows were tightly knitted. Lin Xian was in a bad mood as well. In the cultivation world now, even the top sects would retreat for a 3 days march if they encounter a 9-leaf cultivator, let alone the Taishu Academy. Most elites would choose to hide behind the barriers of their sects and cultivate in secret to improve their cultivation bases. Unfortunately, it was not easy to reach the 9-leaf stage in a short time. In truth, Lin Xian was completely out of ideas. At this moment, a disciple walked in, cupped his fists, and said, "Patriarch, His Highness the Crown Prince is here." The others were shocked to hear this. "Bring him here, quick." In no time at all, a disciple led the current Crown Prince of Great Yen, Lu Xi, into the discussion hall. The Taishu Academy's elders rose to their feet. Lin Xian descended the steps. Without waiting for them to speak, Lu Xi waved his hand at once and said, "No need for that. Let's get down to business." He strode into the discussion hall and assumed Lin Xian's seat at once. Lin Xian had no choice but to take the seat to the left. Lu Xi sat down and said, "I know you're being targeted by the evil Sky Pavilion. I'm here to give you a clear direction." The eyes of the members of the Taishu Academy brightened. Lin Xian cupped his fists and said, "Kindly enlighten us, Your Highness." At this moment, Lu Xi beckoned to someone outside the hall. 2 soldiers who escorted him here walked in, carrying a box between them. They lowered it onto the floor with a loud clang. The others looked at the box in confusion. Lu Xi said, "Open it." The 2 soldiers opened the box. When everyone looked over, they saw a set of armor that seemed extremely old inside the box. There were red threads made from a unique material running along the armor, forming defensive veins. There was also a unique red knot on the corners of the armor. However, having been eroded by time, this armor was worn out. Its red now carried a purple tinge. "What's this?" Lin Xian asked, puzzled. Lu Xi said, "I don't have time to beat around the bush with you lot. It's quite impossible for the Taishu Academy to face a 9-leaf cultivator head-on. Under the heavens, the imperial family is the only one who can. I'll lend you this armor, but I have one condition." Lin Xian was still baffled. "Armor? Condition?" Lin Xian hastily said, "Kindly enlighten us, Your Highness." Lu Xi glanced at Lin Xian and asked, "Do you know why the previous emperor was capable of subduing the 9 provinces and unifying the 12 nations from Rongxi to Rongbei? Naturally, it was due to the power that only the imperial family has. The Taishu Academy was close to the imperial family. Naturally, they knew just how powerful the imperial family was." Lu Xi smiled and said, "To tell you the truth, this armor came from an elite. The secret scrolls of the palace state that the elite came from the northern borders on a coffin. He traversed the 12 nations of the other tribes and reached Great Yen. He once said that nobody should and can attain the 9-leaf stage. The special power of this armor will be awakened when faced with a 9-leaf cultivator." "An elite?" When the others heard this, their expressions turned fearful. They looked at Lu Xi. He did not seem to be lying. Was this one of the imperial family's trump cards? Lu Xi suddenly said, "By the way, this elite was the one who created the 10-terminal formation in the divine capital. The power of the 10-terminal formation was known by everyone under the heavens. No matter how many leaves an elite had, they still had to maintain a low profile in the divine capital. For thousands of years, people had always assumed that the 10-terminal formation was born out of the collective wisdom of the Confucian schools. However, based on Lu Xi's words, that was clearly not true. Just how many secrets did the imperial family have?" After a long pause, Lin Xian finally asked, "Are you asking me to don this armor and fight old villain Ji, Your Highness?" "That's right." The others exchanged a look among themselves. Although Lin Xian had lived for a long time, he still felt uneasy when he heard Lu Xi's words. "How do we know if this armor is genuine, Your Highness? The 9-leaf stage itself was a dream in and of itself. If old villain Ji did not show the splendor of the nine-leaf stage to the world, perhaps, nobody would believe in the existence of the nine-leaf stage until today. You don't have a choice. Lu Ji replied in a deep voice. Lin Xian was speechless. If you don't believe me, you can have a good look at the armor. Who can forge this in this time and era? Lu Ji said. Lin Xian's fingers were shaking as he bent down and picked up the helmet. It was heavy, about 100 caddies. However, for cultivators, this weight was nothing. Lin Xian cradled the armor in his hand and studied it. He was the Taishu Academy's patriarch and an 8-leaf expert, after all. He was, naturally, more discerning than other people. When he saw the exquisite ornamental patterns on the armor, he felt his emotions stirred. He cried out excitedly, unprecedented. Truly unprecedented. The other elders with lower cultivation bases could not understand Lin Xian's excitement, nor could they discern what was so special about the armor. Seeing Lin Xian's reaction, Lu Ji knew Lin Xian could tell the armor was unique. He smiled haughtily. Do you think His Majesty would expend so much effort to study the nine-leaf stage just because of some baseless legend? No wonder, no wonder. That's enough. The formation veins on the armor are one of a kind. It can't be copied, Lu Ji said. Lin Xian suppressed his excitement and asked, What's your condition, Your Highness? Lu Ji straightened his back and rose from his seat. With his hands on his back, he said, I'm trying to help my father out. I'm sure you've heard that the Nether Sect is set on conquering the 9 provinces. The Battle of Yu province is close at hand. The Taishu Academy is to send every one of its members to the battlefield to aid General Ji. Lin Xian was not surprised by Lu Ji's condition. He had expected as much. If the Taishu Academy wanted help from the divine capital, there was, naturally, a price to pay. He nodded, acquiescing to Lu Ji's condition. Okay. You have my promise, Your Highness. Lu Ji stood before Lin Xian as he said, Don't think you're getting the shorter end of the stick here. After this tribulation, you'll receive another 5 leaf-sprouting pills as a reward. Don't forget, the Big Dipper Academy only listens to the imperial family's orders. Thank you, Your Highness. Lin Xian bowed. The Battle of Yu province is of high importance. You should send your men there as soon as possible. I'll give you another something to calm your nerves. Then, Lu Ji moved his head close to Lin Xian and whispered to Lin Xian. The others could not hear what was said, but they saw Lin Xian's eyes widening and eyelids twitching. Lin Xian had tried to maintain his dignity as the Patriarch of the Taishu Academy before this. However, at this moment, he could only respectfully say, Thank you for the pointers, Your Highness. I'll leave it to you, then. Farewell. Lu Ji did not stay for long. He turned around and walked out of the discussion hall. Lin Xian hastily said, Zhou Wenliang, see His Highness off. Me? Yes, you. The second elder, Zhou Wenliang, nodded and ran out at once. Lin Xian said, Xiao Shan, bring 1,000 core disciples with you to reinforce General Ji's army. Patriarch, can we trust the Crown Prince? Xiao Shan seemed apprehensive. Lin Xian's expression grew stern as he said in a low voice, Do it. Understood. Ever since the elders had proposed that he apologize to the evil Sky Pavilion, Lin Xian had been furious with them. He was in no mood to waste words with them. So long as he could survive this disaster and continue to ally with the divine capital, it might be possible for them to attain the 9-leaf stage in the future. At that time, his great limit would be a thing of the past. Zhou Wenliang returned soon after Xiao Shan left. He looked at the armor in the box and tentatively asked, Patriarch. Is the armor really that powerful? Can it repel a 9-leaf cultivator? It can't be fake. Lin Xian placed his hands on his back and said, I've visited the Imperial City many years ago and was fortunate to enter the inner warehouse. The items there are rare treasures and weapons gathered from all over the world. The person who managed the inner warehouse back then was Princess Yun Zhao. At that time, she had maintained that the 9-leaf stage was achievable. The second elder, Zhou Wenliang, bowed and said, Patriarch, the academy is safe with you personally making a move. Lin Xian glanced at Zhou Wenliang and said, I want to find the best place to lay out a formation and come up with a plan to defeat old villain G. Send the armor into my room. Understood. 7 days passed by in just a blink of an eye. In the evil sky pavilion. When Lu Zhou opened his eyes again, he gauged his extraordinary power. After confirming that his extraordinary power was completely replenished, he called up the dashboard. He checked the menu for the Earth Scroll and noticed that nothing had changed. It can't be meditated on at the same time? If they were two different kinds of extraordinary power, that would be troublesome. He would have to spend more time meditating when he cultivated. To confirm this theory, Lu Zhou opened the menu for the Earth Scroll. He tried to meditate on the scripts of the Earth Scroll. It was just like that time when he first encountered the human scroll. He had to meditate while looking at the Earth Scroll's menu. However, the scripts did not emerge from the Earth Scroll's menu as he expected. He sighed. So, the Earth Scroll isn't as easy, after all. He closed the Earth Scroll's menu. There was a new mission on the mission list, search for the remnants of the open Earth Scroll. Lu Zhou frowned slightly. This is too much. Even the human scroll wasn't like this in the beginning. At this moment, Ming Shiyin's voice rang from outside. Greetings, Master. What is it? The Taishu Academy requests an audience. Lu Zhou had been too focused on the Earth Scroll that he had forgotten all about this. The Taishu Academy had repeatedly challenged the evil sky pavilion. If they could not give him a satisfactory explanation, he would not let them off the hook. Lu Zhou walked out with his hands on his back. When he saw Ming Shiyin standing respectfully, he asked, You're alone. Lately, Ming Shiyin was the only one who came to greet him. He did not see the others. Ming Shiyin scratched his head and said, 5th junior sister and 8th junior brother are brave enough to sever their lotuses and have been cultivating. As for the others, I have no idea where they are. As soon as Ming Shiyin finished speaking, an excited voice rang in the air. Old fourth, where are you? I've improved a lot in my Overlord Spear skills. You have to believe me. Swoosh. Ming Shiyin disappeared without a trace. It's no wonder he has been lingering around the Eastern Pavilion. He knows the others wouldn't dare to recklessly come in. Duanmu Shang did not enter the Eastern Pavilion. He passed the Eastern Pavilion and soon vanished from sight. Lu Zhou shook his head as he walked toward the Evil Sky Pavilion's Great Hall. Inside the Great Hall, Lu Zhou sat in a stately manner on his seat. Apart from Pan Zhong and Zhou Jifeng, the others were not there. It did not look like the Evil Sky Pavilion at all. 3 members from the Taishu Academy were escorted into the Great Hall by the female cultivators. Once they entered the Great Hall, the 3 of them fell to their knees. Greetings, old senior G. I'm Taishu Academy's second elder, Zhou Wenliang. Greetings, old senior G. I'm Taishu Academy's third elder, Wang Jianrang. Greetings, old senior G. I'm Taishu Academy's 5th elder, Zhang Gong. What do we have here? Before this, it was Ren, Yi, Li, Ji, Xing and Wen, Liang, Gong, Jian, Ran are Confucian virtues that mean benevolence, justice, courtesy, wisdom, sincerity and moderation, kindness, respect, frugality, and magnanimity. Ran Li Ji Xian. This time, it's Wan Liang Gong Jianrang. What a complete lineup. The 3 of them looked up and to their sides. The Great Hall was empty. They were puzzled. Was this the Evil Sky Pavilion? It was so underwhelming that they briefly thought they were in the wrong place. After all, there were many who impersonated Ji Tiandao and his 9 disciples lately. It had almost become a trend. Finally, Zhou Jifeng said in a deep voice, What are you looking at? How dare you behave impertinently before the pavilion master? Please forgive us, Senior Ji. We're here to sincerely apologize. Zhou Wenliang hastily replied. Apologize? Lu Zhou looked down at the trio. If you're sincere, Lin Xian should have come. Pan Zhong thought Lu Zhou's words made sense. He instantly cursed at the trio. A bunch of fools. Do you think the evil sky pavilion can be easily deceived? A wave of satisfaction rose in his heart after he vented his anger. Moreover, with the other disciples absent, the pressure on him had lessened considerably. He felt great. He had to seize this opportunity and leave a good impression on the pavilion master. As the saying went, when the tiger is away from the mountain, the monkey would take charge. Zhou Wenliang shuddered and hastily said, "Senior Ji, I can explain." He immediately pulled the package that the older two elders were holding between them. He opened it and said, "Senior Ji, have a look at this." The others were puzzled. They looked at the content of the package. There was a dark red armor. The veins were densely packed and extremely fine. It was normal that Zhou Jifeng and Pan Zhong did not see anything special. However, Lu Zhou's emotions stirred when he saw the armor. The veins on the armor resembled those on the coffin the Rulain, Lanny, brought here. Senior Ji, Lin Xian is colluding with the Crown Prince and plans to do you harm. It's said that this item can be used against a 9-leaf cultivator. How absurd.